in the operational GAA, so that in spite of this very huge amount, the ancient, as it were, Metro Manila Plan of 1977 has not yet completed the Parañaque Spillway or even the dredging of Laguna de Bay. So firstly, there is the GAA. Secondly, of course, there is the agency that the Honorable Legarda herself established, the Climate Change Commission, which is the agency that seeks to access the Climate Change Fund, the Green Fund, and other international funds. I would like to enjoin my colleagues, and especially Senator Legarda, to remind the DFA to please send us, finally, the ratification package for the LDF, or the loss and damage. If you will recall, in August 13, I sponsored last year, almost 1 year na, itong approval the very next day, and it became RA 12019. Until today, we are yet to receive the ratification package, and being that we're the host country for the LDF board, I believe that this would be a very, very good source of additional climate finance. As of today, the total pledge is US $788.8 million, and already $271.6 million have been received. So marami tayong makukuha niyan, being, as you stated, the most vulnerable country. Magtulungan po tayo para kalampagin at maratify ito sa lalong madaling panahon. Magbibigay sila under the Barbados implementation modalities ng iba't ibang proyekto from 5 to 20 million US dollars. Sana ma-access natin to sa lalong madaling panahon.
Thank you for that. And yes, I acknowledge the fact, and we're grateful that the good sponsor had initiated and passed our hosting of the Loss and Damage Fund Board in the last Congress. That means a lot to us. But our hosting of this and the passage of such treaties would not be effective if we don't know how to access it, and if these treaties...
We haven't even ratified po. That's the problem.
We have not yet concurred.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the ratification package from DFA.
We passed the law.
We did. We passed the law that merely grants juridical personality and legal capacity
But
to
concurring
the loss and damage. Pero ratification still pending. So sana magtulungan po tayo, kalampagin ng DFA na matapos yan, dahil hindi natin ma-access yung milyon-milyon dolyar para sa loss and damage.
Yes, because I know that we passed something. So it's not yet a concurrence in the ratification of the
Wala
loss
pa.
and damage fund.
Wala pa.
Okay. So there's nothing to act on?
Wala pa. Kailangan kalampagin yung DFA para ipadala yung ratification.
From
package.
DFA, Mr. President, it should go to the OP, and the Office of the President will transmit it to the Foreign Relations Committee.
There we go.
Which you chair now.
Yes, clearly we should have first pick at the amounts that have been mentioned. Malalaki na yung halaga na pledge, na kolekta, kaya sana tayo mauna. At kinikilala naman tayo bilang pinaka-vulnerable sa lahat-lahat ang uri ng disaster.
I'm one with you in that, yes.
2 weeks ago, we also heard that in fact the ICJ ruled that the LDF can respond to cooperation and facilitation for a so-called charge against the LDF. Yung iba kinakabahan at sinasabi parang para nating hinahabla yung LDF or yung UN or yung World Bank. Hindi naman sa ganon. It's just a request, and it will not involve liability or compensation as agreed upon in the United Nations, but rather loss and damage recognized and based on cooperation and facilitation. Dapat mauna na tayo humingi dahil alam naman natin the ICJ opinion is not binding, it's merely persuasive, but it carries great weight, and we should be at the head of the line. So sana wag tayong kabahan na parang inaaway natin sila, hindi naman ganon, kundi talagang nag-ipon sila nitong halaga para magamit sa climate-related projects. So I'm hopeful that we can make these projects once again at hindi ma-delay tulad ng ibang mga projects sa CCC.
Thank you very much. The CCC is actually here now.
Yes, I saw them, yeah.
And in my understanding, the funding mechanism of the CCC has been moved to the Department of Finance.
Yes, I understand that's correct. At yun nga ang issue. Pero ganun pa man, kung saan man manggaling, whether it's the GAA, whether it's the climate change access to present climate finance, even if it's the LDF already, sana talagang mabigyan ng diin ito. The methods are very, very simple. We need to clean the canals, the esteros. We have to control the development in vulnerable areas. We have to relocate people and save human lives. And most of all, the master plan. We are not starting from scratch. As early as 1977, a Metro Manila plan was already in place, further reiterated by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. This master plan involved flooding, drainage, and sewage. Mapagsimulan na sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I'm one with you in the implementation of all these enacted laws and our concurrence in the ratification of the Loss and Damage Fund. Honestly, there's so many sources of climate finance, Green Climate Fund, local adaptation funds, Loss and Damage Fund, but some processes are too tedious and circuitous. I get the feeling that they don't like to release the funds, and it takes a long, long time for vulnerable countries to access them. And then we still need to monitor the implementation of these funds, as what Senator Lacson had mentioned. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator Marcos.
Yes, Mr. President, next to interpolate is Senator Juan Migazui. I move that he be recognized.
Senator Migs Subir is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, would the lady senator allow some interpellations, friendly interpellations from a fellow believer in her advocacy?
I would be more than happy to answer the interpellations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, if I may proceed. Mr. President, I would like to congratulate first the lady senator from Antique, Malabon, and Republic of the Philippines for her steadfast support on all issues regarding climate, particularly climate change. Ever since I've known her as a congressman and a young congressman then, she was already espousing for the environment. She has not changed her advocacy, even if her advocacy is not sexy during elections and politics. Many politicians, Mr. President, go for the, I'd say, more politically astute politicians would go for the more closer to the stomach issues, which is labor problems, health, of course, livelihoods. But Senator Lauren Legarda, Mr. President, can be considered as our champion against climate change. That's why she's Miss Climate Change. Not because she's moody. She's not moody, but because she believes in it from day one. So I'd like to congratulate the lady senator. But Miss Earth, she's the original Miss Earth. Yeah. Actually, there was once a friend of ours we used to call Madam Earth, Mommy Earth. I forgot when we were fighting for our Solid Waste Management Act. She was your number one supporter, and I forget. Mother Earth. Yeah, she passed away, unfortunately. But going to climate change, Mr. President, I'd like to ask the distinguished lady senator, would you consider that we're supposed to be not just climate change, how do you say, conscious, but we've had so many Congresses that passed, so many administrations that passed. From climate change, I'd say studies, climate change advocacies, we were moved towards climate change resilient programs and climate change mitigation. Would like to ask now the lady senator, Mr. President. Today, in your fourth term as a senator, what grade can you give the government in coming up with projects that are climate change resilient or will help mitigate climate change? What grade can you give the government from a high of 10 to 0?
Just like my answer to Senator Lacson in putting percentages, I may not be able to give a percentage or a grade, but I would be honest in saying that we have failed.
Yes.
Government has failed its people. We have failed. And let me just say why. Because first, we have enacted the laws. So we cannot say that we're ignorant in terms of policies. We have all the laws in air, in water, in land, in climate action, in disaster risk reduction. We have the laws. We cannot say that we don't have the funding resources because we have tried our best to put our funding in those laws and institutions, but we are very poor in terms of implementation, in terms of governance, whether it's in national or in local. And this is exacerbated by the fact that the climate is changing and the natural hazards, the storms have become more intense and more frequent. So while the climate has become worse, the natural hazards have become worse, we have not improved. I say this, and I consider myself as part of as government in a way that we have tried to enact the laws, but insofar as its implementation and monitoring and oversight is concerned, I think that we've failed. We've failed our people.
Yes.
And I would not pin the blame on one person, one institution, one administration. It's been going on for so long, and I think that we must really find the solution. But the solution actually lies here. It's so simple. Shouldn't we clean our drainages and canals every day, and not only when there's a typhoon? Pagbaha lang. Should we not actually follow the hazard maps because they are the no-build zones? Should we not actually evacuate our people in due time because we have early warning systems, unlike in Ondoy when we did not have the Doppler radar in 2009? Should we not ensure the structural integrity of our flood mitigation structures, which are needed, which are funded, but sometimes or oftentimes fail in protecting our homes and livelihoods? And so, I think we've failed. That is my humble opinion. Perhaps the engineers or those who are implementing our laws would think otherwise, and I would like to be convinced that we have not failed. But you see the results, the continued loss of lives, and the flooding even when there's no rain, shows that it's not working.
I have to agree with the lady senator, Mr. President, that it's been a failure. We've seen a lot of infrastructure projects that were put up, and maybe due to the corruption that's slowly being brought out now in the consciousness of each and every one. Social media, we thank social media for bringing it out to the consciousness of almost every member of society now, whether they're rich or poor. And I give you an example, Mr. President. In Bicol, where my mom is from, she's from Albay, when I visited recently, about a few months ago, when there was a typhoon that hit them, and namigay po ako ng tulong sa bayan ng Libon, kung saan po pinanganak ang aking lolo, Dr. Fernandez. At ang banggit sa akin doon ay paulit-ulit po silang humihingi ng flood control kasi baha po dyan na projects. Ang problema daw, Mr. President, ay parang chop suey na hindi po siya master plan. Ang gagawin, maglalagay po ng dike dito, wala naman dike sa gitna, lalagay naman ng dike dito sa kabila. So kung sana lang po may butas, doon lumalabas ang tubig, nababa pa rin po yung mga barangay. Tapos ang sabi pa nila, Mr. President, yung mga project doon, yung mga dike, pagbagsak, nakita po nila, puro kawayan yung laman. Hindi po kabilya ng bakal. Yan yung riprap na kawayan po, bamboo. Ang ginagamit po nila as the base, as I'd say, the base frame, which should be, of course, all